Hello everyone, welcome back to another video where today I wanted to talk about a recent report that came out that named Doctor Who the biggest export for BBC Studios internationally. This is a very interesting report and once again is a further nail in the coffin to people who say that Doctor Who is on its deathbed and is about to get cancelled. Once again, that has been proven emphatically incorrect. But I wanted to provide a bit more detail about this report. So I reached out to TV Zone, who I originally found out about this report from, and not only found the original report, but also asked them for some elaboration on some things. So I'm going to read you everything the report has to say, and then use their knowledge combined with my own to kind of interpret some of the things that are going on here, because obviously a lot of these reports are quite vague, and obviously they don't give exact statistics, but I'm going to be delving into it nonetheless. Wish me luck. Doctor Who has been named BBC Studios' largest UK TV export in the past year, with the show continuing to be one of the most exported and in-demand titles globally. FYI, BBC Studios is the commercial production company, not the broadcaster. Yeah, so for context, as far as I understand it, BBC Studios are the commercial arm of the BBC, so they handle things like, for example, like DVD releases, they handle things like selling the rights to Doctor Who to other places and other such programs. They handle, I think, merchandise they have a hand in as well. Basically anything to do with selling stuff, that's what BBC Studios deals with. And then another important thing to note is that this is for 2023 to 2024, and episodes broadcast during this time. Season 1 was broadcast too late to be counted. So, for those of you who aren't aware, in business, the business year ends in March. So, given the fact that Doctor Who Season 1 broadcast in May, it was not included for the 2023-2024 report. So, Doctor Who being the largest export for BBC Studios is purely based on 4 episodes. The Star Beast, Wild Blue Yonder, The Giggle, and The Church on Ruby Road. Nothing else. And I've got proof of that later on when we read the actual report. Let that sink in. Doctor Who was the largest export for BBC Studios based on 4 episodes. So when people try and tell you that this show is dead and will imminently be cancelled, remember that fact. And I'm going to show more detail about this as we go on. So I asked TV Zone to give me some more information on this because obviously I wanted to know, what the report was, and they linked me to this, which is the Packed UK TV Exports Report 2023 to 2024. This is basically where all the major sort of TV networks reveal their exports internationally for British television, essentially, as far as I understand it. And this is quite a thorough report that goes into earnings for British TV internationally. So if you're interested in any of that kind of thing, I'd highly suggest giving it a read. But what's pertinent to this discussion today is page 21, which contains a quote from Janet Brown, who's President of Global Content Sales at BBC Studios. And already we can see there the top 3 exporting titles. And wouldn't you know it, Doctor Who The Specials 2023, not Doctor Who as a whole, just that, was their top exporting title, followed by Planet Earth 3, which was the David Attenborough documentary, nature documentary, very popular, as well as the Mallorca Files, which was 3rd. And then we have a quote from Janet Brown. Despite an evolving and disrupted global content landscape, British content continues to have an incredible resonance around the world, and BBC Studios is privileged to have one of the most robust and in-demand portfolios in the marketplace. From critically acclaimed and popular series such as Doctor Who, Planet Earth 3, and the Mallorca Files, I am proud of BBC Studios' leadership and the role we play in bringing the best of British creativity to the world. So yeah, Doctor Who The Specials was the top exporting title internationally for the BBC in the year 2023 to 2024. Obviously, we don't know how Season 1 did yet, because that will come next year, I presume, given how business years work. But suffice to say, if 4 episodes can do that, chances are, even on a lower view count, 8 episodes probably will do the same. So I reached out to TV Zone to ask, what does exports mean in total in the context of Doctor Who? Are we talking just the episodes? Are we talking merchandise? What are we talking about here? They did contact Pack for me, and they did say, if you look at the charts that have other category, e.g. page 10, then the other category includes merchandising and other ancillaries. Going to ask them to clarify if then everything, including merchandise, is counted for individual production companies, and unfortunately they were given no response. So I'm going to have to extrapolate a little bit for this. So if we go to page 10, we can see the total exports revenues by type each year, starting in 2017, ending in 2023 to 2024. And you can see here all the different formats that sell, basically. So other, as far as I understand it, include things like merchandise and associated stuff like that. And obviously, this is total sales now for all of the British TV industry, not Doctor Who. So obviously, we can assume that the figures for Doctor Who specifically would be different, but I'm using this basically as a barometer. So internal productions made up 18% of the total export revenues by type. Co-productions made up 7%, which I would assume Doctor Who is a part of to a certain degree because of the Disney deal, although I'm not exactly sure, and Bad Wolf for that matter. And then format sales. So format sales, I believe, would count things like DVDs and Blu-rays. So for the overall industry, that was 12%. Digital sales, I think that would include things like Amazon and things like that. So you buying the individual episodes separately online. And then TV sales would just be them selling stuff to TV networks, I think. So I assume that when Doctor Who is crowned the top export by the BBC in their report on page 2021, they are including most of those factors. So they are including merchandise, they are including digital sales and format sales and that sort of thing. I'm assuming. I could be wrong, and it could just be that they mean the episodes themselves, in which case it'd be slightly less impressive because obviously Doctor Who is on Disney+, so I don't think it is just including selling the content to other companies, because obviously then Doctor Who naturally has an advantage with the recent Disney Plus deal. I think it includes things like merchandise and all the rest of it. Any way you slice it though, Doctor Who being the top dog is evidence enough that the BBC won't let this thing go anytime soon. And even if Disney pull out, it's still one of their top earning titles. And it's worth noting that the 60th came out whilst it was on Disney+. The big marketing push for Disney Plus was more with season 1 than with the 60th anyway. So when people say to you, Doctor Who is about to die, it's about to get cancelled, link them to this video and tell them that it's probably bull. Because you don't become the top export at BBC Studios and then BBC Studios go, nice one mate, now off you trot. Doctor Who will get a season 3. Of that I am confident. Whether Disney are on board, that's another matter. But regardless, Doctor Who will continue. If Doctor Who doesn't get a season 3 of some form, I'll buy a Dalek costume. But as of right now, I see no reason to believe Doctor Who will not continue beyond 2025. And I think it's worth noting again that this doesn't include the sales of any Doctor Who beyond the 2023 specials. So this doesn't include sales of Classic Who to other places. This doesn't include sales of Revival Who up to 2022 or anything like that. It just includes the exports of stuff relating to Doctor Who, the 2023 specials, as far as I'm aware. Again, I believe that includes things like merchandise based on these charts. If that's wrong, then I will issue a correction if I find out that it is just based on the sale of the programme itself. But as far as I can tell right now, it likely includes every aspect of the 2023 specials. I did double check the Radio Times article on this, but they didn't give me much more information. So I'm basically just going off of what I've been presented with here. And if any of you are experts, let me know down in the comments below. Thank you all for watching. If you did enjoy the video, be sure to give it a like, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you later.